Hello, everyone. Welcome to our discussion. Roger and Lou here. Welcome to our homes. Today we wanted to talk a little bit about healthy living. What it is that we do with our body, what we put in, the fuel that we put in, how that really affects us. And I am Lou Urban. I'm a transformational coach and energy worker. I concentrate primarily on removing energy blocks for people. And my co-host is...
Hi, I'm Roger Dawson. I'm a certified law of attraction life coach, practitioner, and a hypnotherapist, and I do some energy work as well. So welcome to our homes. We're looking forward to this conversation.
Absolutely. So, Roger, you were telling me about a recent experience that you had with going out for dinner and the effects that it has. I wonder if you would share that.
Would be more than happy to. So it was actually a Friday night. Was going out to eat dinner to one of my favorite Mexican restaurants, and it's actually pretty, what I would call pretty clean for food and what have you. I just don't usually eat that. I had a chicken taco that was in a crunchy shell, as they would say, and I had two chicken enchiladas that, of course, were covered with enchilada sauce and lots of cheese. For the appetizer, we did have the little queso dip that came, and I had plenty of chips and two margaritas. I left the restaurant, and I thought, this actually I feel okay. I kind of was a little anxious because I know that typically when I go there to eat, the next day it's never a good way. So I certainly knew I was going away the next morning. So got home and what have you, and did a couple things around the house, and I was just zapped. I was tired, so I went to bed early, and it wasn't on a full stomach. I had been up long enough that I certainly had let my body start to digest the food. But during my sleep, I felt like the food was sitting literally right under my diaphragm. It was just up in my, I got up the next morning and had my coffee, and I looked like Buddha. I was all swollen up. And I will tell you, I believe it was the cheese, and certainly queso is highly processed cheese, or at least the way they're fixing it is.
Yes.
And I was just irritable. I'm telling you, if someone had looked at me, I probably would have taken their head off. I actually went to took my dog to the vet, and everybody in the office, the dogs were just, everybody, I had it like manifested all of this turmoil of people just doing stupid stuff and aggravating me. And it was probably until about noon before I finally was able to move past it. And it's probably because my body had started releasing all the fluid. And I'm thinking, as I'm sitting at the vet's office, thinking, well, what did I do to create this? Because this is a mirror of whatever I'm going through. And it all stems back to my dinner and what I had put in my body. And I'll tell you what, I like that place. I'll do it again, but I was thinking, wow, I hadn't really connected those dots, that what I had eaten on Friday night to Saturday morning. Saturday was the manifestation of what I put into my body. And I typically would not eat there. Matter of fact, it's the first time I've eaten there this year. Trust me, I've had plenty of chips and salsa, that all being organic and what have you, just from buying things here at the house. But certainly it was good. Glad I went. Great company. But I was just a really aggravated Saturday morning.
Mm-hmm.
And it just took my body time to process through that. Good thing is that being aware of it, I'm thinking, how did I get there? And I backed myself up to, well, it was dinner. It was absolutely dinner. Yeah. So, because we don't manifest on the spot typically. Usually what we're experiencing now, we manifested, was a vibration that started long before we got to this point. So,
absolutely. And what a wonderful example of the fuel that we put in our body, how it can affect us, because we're all connected. Yeah. Our mental body, our physical, our emotional, even our energetic bodies, they're all connected to each other. So if one is not feeling honored, it can affect the others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously, and I will tell you, a lot of times I'll pray or kind of try to do some lifting the vibration of the food. And I was at a restaurant, I wasn't really thinking about it. The person I was meeting was already there, so it was dive in and start going after those chips and salsa. So I will. No, actually, that's something that I may do because I think Cinco de Mayo is just a few weeks away, and probably will end up there again. I'm going to do a test where I really try to lift the energy and the vibration of what I'm putting in my body during that experience.
Yes.
And to see if I have a different awakening the next morning, so to speak. So
Absolutely. I fully agree with you. What a wonderful experiment that you're going to do.
yeah,
Because it can be a verification that it is just the food, or can we affect the food?
yeah,
I'll be very curious to hear what the results are.
yeah. Who knows? But at any rate, it was. But it was good. Past it, and literally, that day, the day after, I had a salad and a protein shake for dinner, and I feel better. I feel better now. So,
Oh, absolutely. Awesome.
has that happened to you?
Well, I can confirm that in choices in eating dramatically affects me. I am a person who's gluten sensitive.
That's right.
And so just from that point, when I'm eating something that I'm allergic to, it affects me in so many ways. I get a great amount of pain, like you. I swell up. There's massive inflammation, irritation in the digestive system. And then I also get really crabby. I mean, it's like I'm not able to affect my emotions, my higher self in a positive way, because I'm so in that pain and inflammation that I can't get out of it. My body needs to process it in order to be able to move past that. And so I fully understand what you mean about those food choices really affect us.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a lot of people who are awakening to different things that they don't want to put in their body anymore. Certainly, there's the push for non-GMO,
Right.
And low preservatives or no preservative type of foods.
Mm-hmm.
There's people who are, on the no dairy, no caffeine, and
Well, come to think of it, I really have dramatically reduced my dairy intake this year. Not even really noticing I've done that. And certainly it was loaded with cheese, and then we had that queso dip, which just,
I
yeah,
know it's to die for, isn't it?
it was.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But you're right. There's so many people that are. You're right. You mentioned the GMO, and it depends on who you talk to as to what the research is. I am of the belief that if I can stay away from GMO, I will. I think that things that naturally occur might be better than what man can come up with. Just my belief, but.
Oh, I'll tell you something that I've said for years. And let me first say I apologize to anybody who's working in the food industry. Not meant as a slam, but from a personal perspective, I think it's really arrogant of us as human beings to think that we can create something better than what Source has already given us.
Yeah. I agree with that statement. And of course, that's probably why why we're talking, right? But certainly, you're right. And I certainly apologize to anybody that works in that industry because, when you look at our food source and how things are created, it's an interesting time we live in. Matter of fact,
Absolutely.
I was just thinking about the chicken, and typically I get organic chicken, when I'm doing it myself. There could have been something within the antibiotics that they've used to the chicken. More than likely, I'm sure it was there.
Absolutely.
And who knows? who knows what it was, but I'm glad I'm past it. Like I said, I'll probably be back there on May 5th. We'll do my little experiment, but
Yeah,
and of course, and I do believe too that anything in moderation is okay. So you can't always, who knows, the corn chips could have been GMO, probably were, and it's everything in moderation and being in the awareness of it. And as long as I have the choice of what I'm putting in my body, then I have to own what I do.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And so we've been talking about some of the topics in the food related, but there's certainly other things that we put in our body too that affect us, like alcohol. Like you said, moderation. So what does moderation feel like for each person?
And we're all different, right? So
exactly.
Somebody can drink one glass of wine and it not impact them. Another person, a half a glass, and they shouldn't be driving, So
Yeah, absolutely. And certainly things like, all of the chemicals that we put on our body, what's in our body lotions and our soaps and for women, makeup and, all those things, they can all affect us. And, people who are still smoking, that's a choice that's kind of, affects people pretty dramatically.
Yeah.
So it's about following a more natural, would you say that to be in better alignment overall, we want to follow a more natural path of what we put in our body?
Yeah, I would go along with that. Or certainly what we put in our body, we need to make sure we align our belief around what we want the result to be.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes.
And because I do believe that you can, the example, the smoker that is chain smoked since they were 15 years old,
Mm-hmm.
Living at 95, still puffing, and they die of old age. It certainly wasn't lung cancer, which is what you might think would get them, or some type of a result of the smoking. And their belief was that it's not going to kill them. Something else would. I'm gonna die of old age. So it's kind of that mind over matter type of situation. And I think that's very true within our food. And you think about Tammy Faye Baker, right, with all the makeup she put on. Because for women, that's a real, you mentioned that was a good one to call out. I believe that it was probably, she died of cancer, and I'm sure it was directly tied to the amount of makeup she put on her face. And, and she was on stage, if you will, all the time. Probably not many people saw her without it on. So all things to be aware of, it's all, the things that the environment we're in, that's why I really don't watch much news. I try to keep my environment, my temple.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. And and what a good way to say it, Roger, that our body really is our temple. It's our space that we live in. So honoring it by having our choices about how we affect our body be in line with our beliefs is probably more honoring to the spirit than anything. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's pretty amazing.
So we'll have to bring everybody up to speed on the next time I have Mexican food at my favorite restaurant, how I handle it. And the thing is I have to remember to do it, but I believe I will. I believe I will, because it was, I was just like very aggravated with myself. And anyway, so it was a great awareness for me. And at least now I'm sure I will have another opportunity to create a different experience the next morning. So
absolutely. So you had said something about thinking about what it is that, blessing your food, setting the intention for how it's going to affect you. You had said something about that. Is that a process that you do whenever you're getting ready to eat?
It's interesting. And boy, this could be a whole topic on its own. praying before a meal, right?
Sure. Yes.
So, we're usually it's a prayer of thanksgiving, right?
Hmm.
Thinking source or God or whatever your belief system is for the meal that you're about to enjoy. But there's, if you think about it, a person certainly could be praying to this food that you're about to intake, that it nourishes your body and creates an uplifting experience, or so that you're not all waking up all crabby and in a bad mood the next morning. So
Yes, absolutely. And I do something like that before I eat. I do, I certainly thank Source for the nutritional value that I'm going to get out of it, and set the intention that whatever is in the food that is not good for me will pass through. That I am only going to retain those things that will positively affect me. So the exact words, it varies. I mean, but yeah, I go through that every time. I'm kind of mindful about being able to do that before I eat. And so I believe that helps. That when you set the intention that whatever is in there that's not going to be for your benefit, that your body doesn't retain that, then your body's not going to retain that. That's kind of being in line with your beliefs, and so no matter what it is that you're eating, you can still do that, still have that, set that intention, but
and so it is.
And so
right? I mean, seriously, that's exactly how it works, and so something to give some thought about as you go through your day. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Anything else you'd like to say, Roger? Are you good?
I am good. I would encourage.
Okay.
I would encourage. Give this, play around with it. Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
And I agree with you that it sometimes we have to experiment, no matter what the media is telling us or what the medical profession is telling us. Only we can determine what is right for our own body, because each of us is a machine. That's we have similar properties, but different things affect us differently because of our chemistry.
Correct.
So yeah, try the experiment. Be mindful and notice how you're affected by what you put in your body.
Yeah, and we'll give you an update after Cinco de Mayo.
Absolutely. Yes. Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining us. If you'd like to know more about Roger, you can go to his website at rogerkdawson.com. And if you'd like to know more about me, I'm at louurban.com. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Have a good day.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.